The Aurora Memoirs, Chapter 6, by Thomas Michael. The Retrieval. After a much-needed and very deep period of integration, after leaving that dark pool, I woke up one day feeling a subtle ache. Like the fragments of myself that had slipped away were calling me faintly. I knew I must return to go even deeper yet. I centered myself going into my morning practices, centering myself in meditation, making offerings, singing, praying, opening myself to God, the earth, the mountain, the land, and all those who assist me. All the integration had since composted within my system, feeding a new sense of empowerment and grounded stability. I decided to head down again to the dark pool. I walked back down, off the path, noticing the subtle changes in the land. A small, old, moss-covered tree had since fallen over the dark pool. I marveled at how the land had shifted in the response to my inner work, wondering, listening to what I was to do. I sensed that the pool was not the place, the one to reflect the deeper layers to me. So I decided to sit in meditation, going deeper into listening. I started to breathe, letting my awareness travel out into the forest around me, sensing the cool air and slight mist in the waters in the understory of the low forest, then even further out into the mountain, the planet, and creation. As I did, my awareness was brought back to those parts of me slipping down into the pool, into the mud at its bottom. This brought my awareness back to my center, down into the depths of my digestive system, below the watery pool of my stomach, into my dantian. My hands naturally then went onto the deep, damp earth next to my body. Through the soil, I could feel the earth's support of me in going deeper, penetrating into my core, her core. I was once again brought back to the sensations of what those parts of me felt as I let the breath travel into this area of my body, feeling slightly numb, empty, lost, alone, and abandoned. I invited all these sensations to grow, expand, and speak if they wished. Slowly, visions started to appear again. It was a couple years later. He had since left college and was in Detroit, standing at the door of a boarded-up trap house. He knocks. A small window, a makeshift window, opens in the door, a hole that was cut, covered by a piece of wood. I can feel his nervousness, sick from not getting high. He asks, "Is the guy around?" "Who is it?" he asks. "It's Tom," he says. "We want to get some things, but we want to do it here. Can we come in?" "Yeah, just give me a minute." "What do you want? I'll put it together." 5 stones, 4 blows, he says. The vision blurs a bit. As I sit in meditation now on the damp ground, I start to remember this day. My arms start to become cold, numb, stiff. I feel a chilling swirling like wind move through the understory of the forest, and I start to brace the soil more, breathing a bit more heavily. I reached my awareness deeper into the earth to open up to Gaia. I feel her support through my dantian and root as I breathe with the intention to open up deeper into these spaces within me. The vision starts to crystallize again now. It's a bit later in the day. He's arrived back at his hotel room, a small Motel 6 in another area of Detroit. The kind of place someone might rent out for only a few hours to visit or hire a sex worker. He's just finished smoking the rocks of cocaine they purchased and is getting ready to do the heroin to come down. The coldness and numbness starts to take over more now, going up from my limbs and feet into my body. My heart begins to race, and everything starts to go dark. I start to sweat. As his friends who are with him there begin to try and talk to him, he can't hear them. He can't move. A dark tunnel opens up into a hole, a pit of void within me. At the bottom is the part of me that had gotten away from the last time at the pool. I open up to him energetically. He's lost, confused, a part of me that has been lost in this overdose. I call on the Divine Mother now to help me retrieve him. The whole scene starts to fill with love and warmth from the edges inward. My body starts to warm. My arms, my heart begins to slow. I open deeper to what he has to say, to speak, what he needs. I feel his core feelings, his frailty. He feels dirty, disgusting, unworthy to live, lost, alone, purposelessness, unable to feel any sense of love. The Divine Mother opens up her arms to him. He turns from her. He wants to die. He feels unworthy of this love. She then starts to hold out a mirror. She says, "Let me show you how I see you." As he turns to look into the mirror, I begin to weep his tears. My body starts convulsing as the shame, the disgust begins to pour out of my body and fill with warmth and love. He runs into her arms to be held. She and her assistants begin to wash him with elixirs of rose. I feel them restoring him in my body, like liquid love flowing into my heart, down my arms and into every cell. A pure peace settles in as I feel him now totally restored and dissolve into my heart. I see him in the room again. His friends have moved him into the shower, putting ice and cold water all over his body. His heart begins to beat. His vision and hearing slowly return. They say to him, "We thought you were gone." Your breathing stopped for a moment. As he begins to regain use of his body, he goes to lay on the bed. Then I hear the Divine Mother in my head. She says, "There's only unconditional love here. I see you. Keep going. I am with you." I start to take this peace, the light that surrounds me, and breathe and welcome it deeper into my whole body, resting for a moment and integrating. From there, a sea of memories start to flood my system. Years of traveling around the country trying to escape it all. California, only a week clean before. Hawaii, beaches, sun, ocean. Some life returns, then turning to alcohol. Almost killed by locals. Portland. This time, he stays clean for a couple months. He gets a job. He starts to rent a place. His father, who had been struggling with work, lands a job just an hour south of Portland. But then the desperation sets in again. Homeless, begging for money on the streets for a time. Then a specific day starts to come in to my view again. His girlfriend had just left him. He's on a city bus headed downtown. He's texting his dealer to meet him at their spot. I hear his voice. In my head, I have nothing. No job, no girlfriend, no friends, nothing. I begin to feel his sadness, hopelessness, powerlessness, total desperation in my body. I breathe in my heart. I feel the Divine Mother start to hold my hand as I start to welcome all of these feelings more and more. Next to me on the land, I hear a loud and warm buzzing close to my head. Without opening my eyes, I know it to be a hummingbird. It hovers for a moment. Scents of flowers fill my nose. I see him walk off the bus now, just a short distance down the sidewalk. He sees the dealer across the street. A slick exchange. Money and drug exchange, one handshake. He continues down the street. I feel my heart start to race. I feel in my hands as he's grabbed all of a sudden. Panic. He turns to fight, but hears, "This is the police. You are under arrest." He feels he's getting robbed. He goes to swing. He's tackled onto the ground, the cuffs placed on him, as he's taken into the cop car. I feel the shock starting to set into my body. The scene now moves to a jail cell. I open up to him more, the hopelessness, the powerlessness, the despair in my sacral, my heart, my arms. I breathe deeper into all these spaces in my body and welcome them to flood into me. I sense the Divine Father come in behind me. Golden light begins flowing down my spine, into my heart, shoulders, and wings. This version of me I am seeing, also with the presence of the Divine Father behind him. I ask him within me, "What do you need?" He says, "To feel purpose and meaning again." He begins to stand up in the cell, spine more erect. I watch his whole body begins to fill with strength, as does mine. I can see an officer then walk to the cell, open the door, and says, "You are released on your own recognizance. Get your papers from the desk." I remember that day well. I see him then walk out onto the streets of Portland with new conviction. I hear his voice say, "I had nothing, but now I have my freedom. There must be some sort of greater purpose for me." On the land, I drop backward. Laying on the wet ground, I look up to see the sunlight now, in midday, coming down through the canopy, just a bit to warm my face as I sink into the sense of being held by the earth. I look over at the tree that had fallen over the pool as the light reflects off its surface. Glimmers, rainbows, through the water droplets, the tree's mossy bark glimmering in the reflection. The sun's light, then coming into my eyes, feels as if it's dancing in my nervous system. I stand to greet it and walk out of the forest. That was chapter 6 of the Aurora Memoirs, and I'm Thomas Michael. I record these on the mountain in Chirripó, Costa Rica, where most of this work has happened and where it's still happening. New chapters are released at the auroramemoirs.substack.com, where they go out first, along with the writing that sits between them. If you want to go deeper into some of my offers, one-on-one work, go to thomasmichael.me. And if this one landed somewhere in you, the most useful thing you can do is send it to the one person you thought of while you were listening. And thank you for going down there with me.